couple of days ago, I happened to be on the telephone with a TV executive on the East Coast. And in the course of the conversation, as we were talking about mass media and ministry and so on, I heard this click on the phone line. And he said to me, "I've got an urgent call waiting. Can I get back to you in just a few moments?" And of course I backed off there. This is Nightsounds, and I welcome you. I'm Bill Pierce. And so many things that happen during a day or a week have bearing on this particular program. Not too long ago, I was speaking with another friend, and he was talking to a group of people. He said, "You've got to be careful what you say to Bill, because it may come out on the air someday in sort of a veiled form." Well, I got the idea as I was in the course of that conversation, and what we term call waiting happened to be an urgent call. It's got a lot of overtones. It speaks of patience, priorities, and tonight's program, Call Waiting, involves just about every one of us, because if we're adults at all, a large chunk of life's process has had to do with waiting. When we're small, we're waiting to grow a little taller, impatiently eyeing Mom's pencil marks on the wall. When we're in elementary school, we're waiting for the adult sophistication of junior high school. In junior high, we realized that high school was what we really were waiting for. And of course, in high school, we're waiting for a car, college, marriage, the first big money job, and on it goes. Many of you are waiting for love. Now that's something worth waiting for, isn't it? In fact, our first music on tonight's program we've used before, but I thought it was so good and it's lyric and so pointed as to what we're into tonight that I thought I would allow Susan Ashton to just remind us that love is worth waiting for.
Just need your love. That's why I'm waiting for your love to come down. Oh, I will be waiting, yeah, for your love to come down.
Susan Ashton, waiting for your love to come down. Your tender mercies are what I've been longing for. This is Nightsounds. Our title at this moment is Call Waiting. This is a rather modern phrase. It wasn't around 25 years ago that I can recall. Having to do with patience. Have you had to wait for anything lately? I remember, as we were speaking a moment ago about the stages of life, I couldn't wait till I was 13 years of age. I thought 12 was the longest year that I had ever experienced. Because 13, I was a teenager. I could have a newspaper out and all of that. We wait every day for something. Maybe you're waiting for a person, or an event, or a telephone call right now. We wait for service in restaurants, waiting for the traffic to edge a couple of inches farther on. We show up 15 minutes early for our doctor's appointment, end up waiting 45 minutes just to get into one of those chilly little examining rooms where we wait another half hour in whatever that is they put on you. In his book, God Works the Night Shift, Ron Mell was speaking of some of this, and he said God has a waiting room too, you know. You might not find those exact words in Scripture, but it's there all right. From one end of the book to the other, God has brought his people into the waiting room of delayed dreams. Plans, call waiting, clicks on the line, an urgent call waiting. We have to put off what we were into. How about God's waiting room? Who do you think would be in there? As we look back in Scripture, Ron said in his book, can you picture this? That great celestial waiting room? Can you see it in your mind's eye? One very large room, stretching out both ways, farther than you could see. Shining floors, marble walls, white shaded lamps, countless people sitting in chairs, glancing now and again at the clock on the wall, clearing their throats, drumming their fingers, waiting for God to respond, waiting for God to keep his promise, waiting for him to speak, or to answer, or to heal. Then another waiting room was brought out. Can you imagine this? In God's waiting room, you look over to your left and there's Noah, calmly thumbing through a boating magazine, waiting for something called rain. He's never seen it before. But God said it would come, a lot of it. Over on the right, there's Abraham. He's been there a very long time, waiting for a little son whose name would be Laughter. He's become an old man in that waiting room, but he'll stick it out. He has a promise in his pocket with God's signature on it. You know who else is there? Job. He's there too, so weak and doubled over with pain and sorrow that he can barely stay in his chair. He's waiting for healing, waiting for a few encouraging words, waiting for someone to help him make sense of this life shattered into 1,000 jagged pieces. Ruth is there too, waiting for a husband and a redeemer. And over there, of course, is David, waiting for a promised kingdom. And if you listen carefully, you can hear him pray. In the morning, O Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my requests before you and wait in expectation. And there's thin, gaunt-faced Jeremiah sitting beside him, quietly weeping, wiping tears on the cuff of his jagged robe. He's waiting for a sign of hope that his empty, burned-out city will ever again echo with the sounds of laughter, song, or worship of the true God. There's a striking young man over the other side of the room there, with his hands folded in his lap, his expression alternating between intense longing and a sturdy, determined patience. His name is Joseph. And he spent some of the prime years of his life right here in God's waiting room. And his case is so celebrated that Israel wrote it into their national hymn book, Psalm 105. And tonight's question, have I been tested by the Lord, waiting for the promise of his word? Tonight's program called Waiting. Sometime ago,